Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sharp Talk Podcast. I'm Tom, aka Tom Hosting Outdoors on YouTube and Instagram. Today I'm joined by my co-hosts. Got Alex here from Alex's Knife Box, who you can find on Instagram at Alex_Knifebox, and Gerald, who is Outpost76 on YouTube and Instagram. Been a while, guys. Been what? This is the first episode after our full month break, right?
Yeah, a month.
Yeah. No guests
So-
today, just us, correct?
Correct.
So, go
Next
ahead.
episode we'll have a guest.
Perfect.
So yeah, I finally made it over 1,000 guys.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And I did facilitate my giveaway. So I posted that video. So if you're on that giveaway, make sure you get on it. Jason Holland was the winner. So that was kind of cool.
What did you give away?
I gave away a brand new Millet Perpetua blue and a copper coin that's engraved the American flag, and it's got the number 9 rule logo on it. And then I gave away some goodies like a little wallet and some hanks from Shadowborn.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a good giveaway. I mean, I was going to give away like a pretty nice knife, but then, this year hasn't been fruitful for me. So we'll have to wait till the 2000s to do something maybe a little fancier. I think that was a pretty cool giveaway. I think it was like probably at least like $220, $230, something like that.
Yeah, that's an awesome little giveaway.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with the Perpetua. I actually like that knife quite a bit.
I do too. I still have mine, and yeah, I'm keeping mine. I like that steel.
Nitro V.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes, not bad.
It's a really, really, really razor keen edge every time I mess with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't been buying much knives. I don't know about you guys. I've been buying a couple little toys for some existing knives. I did buy that overpriced Benchmade bug out, the exclusive one in 20 CV. And then I kind of fixed it up with some Alutex silver twill scales on it. I'm really digging that. Like this knife at 2.3 ounces was still like a nice, good, decent sized knife for that kind of weight. Yeah, I've been carrying it more than anything else for some reason. So
I love
the
those
only
scales.
oh yeah, man, they look so awesome. He calls them the Veyron scales, and he can texture them on the flats if you want them textured, or he can just leave them flat like he did on mine. The only thing that it does different, it does delete the lanyard loop, and it tightens this back end a little bit. So if you're like me and you got some meat on your paws, when you close it, I got a few cuts on my palm from this. So it will bite you. So yeah, that was kind of fun. That's a fun one.
Just the whole shape change of that handle makes it way better.
Hell yeah, for sure. It does make the clip, because of the contouring, not work quite as well. It works good on jeans, but on slacks it ended up being a little bit tight. And I did have to modify the holes because the barrel spacers have like this D shape kind of,
Yeah, like an oval almost.
Right, like a Chicago screw, right?
Yep.
So the holes weren't done very well on that. So I ended up just kind of opening them up and rounding them out, fit the spacers on there. That was the only thing I had to modify to really make it work.
Got a
Yeah,
badass little knife
the
now.
ones I want to try for the bug out are the caveman scales. They're similar to that shape, but they are aluminum.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they have something. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They have something a lot. It looks like the original Shirogorov milling pattern, kind of like on the caveman scales I have for that Mannix.
Yep. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's so many good scale companies for this knife. It's like having a Honda Civic when you have a bug out, It's just like so many parts. I think the only thing I'm going to do, and it's I think a waste of money, but I'm going to get the complete kit with the green anodized lock bar and everything from the guy in Australia.
Yeah.
But dude, it's $215 for that kit, which is more than the knife.
You're about to make your bug out as expensive as a Sebenza.
Almost, not quite as expensive as the gold class though,
No.
and I think cooler in some respects.
Yeah, it's made for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's my favorite colors, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's about it. How about you guys?
I've kind of been in sell mode. I sold a couple.
Yeah,
Been carrying pretty much the same stuff all the time. Normally it's been this mini Presidio.
nice.
It's just been a really nice little knife. It's just I picked it up just for Gerald's little S30V thing, and I've just been pretty much carrying it ever since. I sharpened it for the first time this past week, so it went about 3.5 weeks at work on just factory edge.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What you been carrying, Gerald?
What's it been for? Well, since the last podcast, I carried that VG10 for 2 weeks. And then we went away to Tennessee. So I pretty much I carried M390 one day. I think I carried my 8015 and one of those Sharks every other day. And this past week at work, well, I don't know. I have weird weeks at work like this past week. I didn't even use a knife Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday for anything.
Oh wow.
But just stuff, and I'm gonna try to start something new tomorrow for 2 weeks. I haven't decided what yet.
Right on. Very cool.
I gotta start carrying my Shark a little bit more. I'm gonna sharpen it up tomorrow and try carrying it for a couple weeks. How do you carry yours, Gerald?
So far, well, I'm gonna drill a hole in one of them to put on a tech lock, but right now I just drop it in my front pocket.
So when you take it out to use it, do you just kind of drop the sheath? Like, do you take it out inside of your pocket, or do you take the whole thing out?
Depends. Depends on which one it is. One of them is kind of tight, so I got to take the whole thing out of my pocket. But it depends on where I am too and what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like if I'm out on the property at work somewhere, I drop it in my pocket so I don't drop it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if I'm inside, I'll just take the whole thing out of my pocket.
Because I'm not a huge fan of that ulti clip, but I mean, I feel like if I had it off and I just dropped it in my pocket, I'd be fine.
Well, I'm trying to remember who.
You're better off getting a little leather slip over the blade, right? And then if you're going to do a pocket drop, so having big old.
I was going to say, who is it that just recently started a YouTube channel that's on Instagram? That in his, I think it's in his first video or maybe his video on the Shark he has from Alex, he doesn't use the Kydex at all. He dropped it in some kind of leather sheath. I don't remember what he said it was for, or if it was just like a universal type leather slip to put in his pocket. But that seems like a good way to go also, especially since the one he has fits perfect.
Right. Yeah, I think that would be the best way to go if it goes inside the pocket. So
I've been trying to convince Alex to drill it for tech locks.
Well, I'm betting that one of those, I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, those Essie Azula 2 pocket sheaths that are leather that puts it in there at an angle. I think one of those would probably work pretty good for it, since that's a pretty loose fit on that, and they're not terribly different in size.
Right. BJ and I were talking about it a while back, and he suggested pull dots, just with those 2 soft loops over top.
Yeah, you can do that too.
I don't know. I kind of like having it. If I'm going to carry it on my belt, I kind of like having it stay put where I put it, not move around.
Well, that's why I'm going to drill. One of them is a hair bigger than the other 2. I don't remember which one. So it definitely has enough room to drill for a tech lock.
Yeah.
Because, Kydex is pretty durable. I don't think it needs another ring in it to be tightened onto a tech lock and stay still.
Right.
I don't know. I like. Well, I mean, it's kind of a small knife, but for bigger knives, I kind of like a dangler at times.
Yeah. So I consider running it as a neck knife too at times because it's so small.
Right. Right.
It's
Yeah, I know.
almost
Like,
it's almost like just a touch too big as a neck knife though, just a
yeah,
little.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta put that thing to some more use.
I'm still kind of messing around with some GECs and slip joints. I got one pretty recently. It's an oil field in turtle or
Ooh,
tortoise shell, whatever they call it, acrylic. Kind of look cool.
I like that.
Yeah, you know. I saw it on the Knife Junkie. I think he bought one for his brother. And when I saw it, I'm like, man, I love that scale pattern. Of course, you know, I really like the blade too, of course.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's a nice little knife. So slip joints, slip joints, slip joints. Slip joints are still hard and popular and going strong.
Every time I look at GECs, I kind of like consider buying it for a second. Then I'm like, man, I barely ever use like my Swiss Army knife that I carry every day, so I
Right.
know I'm not going to use one of them.
Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, I use maybe one or two of my GECs or my Northwoods,
Hmm.
and they work fine for light tasks and the easy little, you know, pocket knife kind of thing. But when you can, you know, have something more modern in your pocket, obviously, it's not, you know, the same experience as far as cutting, but it gives you that nostalgic feeling, and
Yeah.
nobody at work cares when you pull it out of the pocket, so that's kind of cool.
I'm supposed to
Yeah.
ask you if that GEC came with Werther's original hard candy.
Candy?
Yeah, if it came with Werther's original hard candy.
It did not. It did not.
Meaning, he means it's an old man's
I know
knife.
what he means. I mean, like grandpa's knife. Here, how about a Strider? There, that's less
That'll
grandpa,
do.
right?
When did you pimp that one out?
Just recently, actually.
Because I didn't remember all the Timascus stuff on it, and then when you put it on Instagram, I
Yeah,
was like, I don't remember that.
yeah. I put a Timascus over travel stop from Russia, some guy on eBay. And then I did the Timascus clip is from NCC Knives, and then I did the VZ grip scale on it, which I'm kind of not recommending right now. It looks cool. It feels nice. It kind of actually thins out the knife. But the problem is that around the pivot area, especially with this kind of like large pivot that these Striders have,
Hmm.
when you take it apart and using the tool and everything, and you get it nice and tight and get it centered, um, it comes kind of misshapen after a while, and I've had to kind of like retighten it, which is kind of scary, right? Because
Yeah.
it's plastic-ish. So, so that's I'm gonna see how this goes, but and then I put some titanium hardware on it from MX Gear because the original scale didn't have any screws on this side; it only screwed from the back side.
Right.
So I kind of had no choice to get these blue ones, but yeah, it's it works.
So
It's a knife.
when you bought the screws for that, did I'm sorry, when you bought the scale for that, it had to come with the screws and everything?
No, I got the screws from MX Gear, and I
Okay.
just so happened to order the screws, noticing that there was holes on the front side of the scale, and not on my knife.
Gotcha.
And when I looked at the MX Gear, which was the only place I could find screws for this thing, I noticed that they had a front and a back side screw, so I knew it would. Well, I hoped it would work. You never know,
Yeah.
but you can hope, you know. But they did do a nice job. They fit up nicely, and you know, I'm not really a big fan of this kind of like flathead thing that they got going on here. Personally, I think it's kind of ugly, but you know, I mean, that's the screws that they did.
Right.
Um,
It looks good though. I
whatever.
like that scale.
Yeah,
What's the material on it?
it's like it's not G10. It's like, I don't know, or maybe it is. Feels like a hard plastic to me.
Gotcha.
This is what it
Yeah,
feels
it looks
like.
really nice. I like the texture.
but it's supposed to be the same stuff like they put on the 1911 grips, you know,
Oh,
the
cool.
VZ grips.
I
'Cause
got
it's
you.
VZ grips. So
That makes
yeah.
sense.
kind of interesting. You can get it in like some splash patterns and grays and all kinds of colors. So yeah.
Paul has something for us to discuss here.
What would you like us to talk about, Paul?
He's asking or saying, is there a knife that was just made to be modded?
Made to be modded.
Mm-hmm.
I think a bug out's made to be modded, to tell you the truth, right?
I would say so.
Spyderco PM2,
The one that always comes to mind for me is the rat.
the rat. Yeah, but you know,
Or your
Mhm.
Pilar.
oh yeah, that one's freaking
Well,
heavily
look,
modded.
anything with a big square stupid cleaver blade, like any of the sheepdogs or
Oh,
any of
yeah.
that budget stuff, all those are meant to be modded.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it just all depends on what's hot, right? Like the more people play with it, the more people will mod it. As a matter of fact, that was my 1,000 subscriber giveaway announcement video. Was me showing a bunch of knives that I've modded and where I got the parts and stuff like that. And it's sometimes, you know, when you're not out hunting for customs at the moment, modding your knives is kind of fun. And I think even when you have a custom knife in your pocket, I think sometimes having one of these modded knives is even more of a guarantee that you'll have something extremely unique,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like a one-off, one-of-a-kind deal, which is kind of fun, you know? So I love modding knives to a certain extent. I didn't have any examples. I wanted to show people like a regrind example, but I sold that ZT I had that Will Moon did for me a while back. But I did show off Brian's reblade with that Pilar.
He did a good job on that. I'm glad to see him back in the shop, by the way.
Me too, man. Me too. I've been talking to him a lot. So, very cool dude. He did a really cool post on Instagram not that long ago about like showing all the pricing breakdown of his work. And I'm just looking at the pricing he's charging. And I'm like, dude, you're not charging enough, man.
No, he's not making it nearly as much as he should be.
He's not making anything. Like if you guys are listening out there, if you guys pay Brian what he's asking for his work, you guys have to understand that means he's making zero money. That's pretty much the way I kind of see it for all the time that he invests. So tip the guy. That's what I say, right?
Definitely.
Give him an extra 20, 30 bucks. What the hell, you know?
So talking about the knives that are made to be modded. So what's the difference, or what defines a knife that's made to be modded, or one that just comes with a major flaw?
Well, I think a knife that is meant to be modded. I don't think, in truth, any of those knives that come out are meant to be modified.
No.
I think the things that it really relies on is going to be on how popular it is. And if it's really popular and people want to change certain things about it and companies catch on to it, then, you know, like the bug out, such a good example. How many different companies make scales for the bug out? You know, you got Rogue scales, you got Rock scales, you got Aramis, there's plenty more. And when it comes to that, it's kind of fun, you know. It's like back in the days when I was in a car club and we all had Hondas, you know, and everybody's got either a Civic or an Integra, but everybody likes to show off their version or their signature of their mods and what they like, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with the knife, you know. It's a little personalization. So
It seems like the knives that are really plain, like Gerald was saying, that, you know, kind of squarish handles, kind of neutral, that are really easy to modify, make parts for and everything. You know,
Right.
really pimp them out. And then there's knives that come like the Shaman that has the giant nub on the where you
Right.
close in the compression lock. That's some people wouldn't qualify as a flaw. I see it as a flaw. Or like remember the Tropin when it came out, that the blade would come flying up and hit your finger.
Oh wow.
So there's
And
knives
look,
like that.
I'm going to continue to say the Shaman should have had a back lock or the ball bearing lock. It should not have a compression lock. Just because they make a compression lock Doesn't mean they need to put it on every fucking knife.
I think it should have been a frame lock. I mean, a liner lock. I think it would have been fine as a liner lock.
Anything other than a compression lock, and it would have been a comfortable knife. What makes it so uncomfortable is that stupid compression lock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We need more models with a ball bearing lock, anyhow.
Well, I
it
don't
would
know
work
if you
good with
guys,
that.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Aramis made some kick-ass scales for the Shaman too, to the point where I want to buy another Shaman just so I can buy those scales. They look freaking awesome. And I think that would make that knife comfortable. Pull it up, Tom.
Which one?
Yeah, I've seen them. They're nice.
The
Aramis.
scales for the Aramis, or the Aramis scales for the Shaman?
Yeah. It's something, like I said, I think it gives that knife. He's like the master at like resculpting a knife into a new look.
He really is.
And, you know, like with the cage and the fitment of the axis lock and everything, I mean, my bug out had quite a few problems out of the box, and it's pretty impressive. I put these scales on, and everything's fixed. So what does that tell you?
He's got quite a few variations on it, too, it looks like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here, let
He
me
does.
switch over.
Well, it seems like for each knife he does, he's got like 2 or 3 different designs at least.
Yep. Dude, that looks hot. That makes it look like a front flipper, doesn't it?
It kind of does, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna build another Shaman for sure.
So that's more like the standard ones. The 3D,
Yep.
the 3D build.
Where's the other side with the compression lock is what I want to see.
It doesn't really show a good view of that, it looks like. No. You never really do get a good picture of it.
Yeah, I love that milling he does on there too.
So that looks good. He has like 4 models of it. The Tactic Smooth.
That
Yeah.
is the set that I like.
That's sweet.
Without that stupid belly in the handle.
Yep. Yeah, it looks really
Yep,
good.
there's that Chirogorov carbon plate, blue carbon fiber. And that's one thing I love about him too, is he uses the legit carbon fiber. Like, he's not using cheap stuff.
And that's cool too, that backspacer in the back that's all seal, he makes a wrap that goes around it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
You
you
got to
should,
fill in that ridiculous gap that they left.
Yep.
Yep.
That looks really nice. He did a good job with that. What was the other? There was one that had some cool milling on it. That's kind of neat too.
that is
Yeah.
Although that might be a pocket shredder.
maybe.
Depends how deep that milling is, I guess.
If it's on carbon fiber, it's probably not going to be very grippy.
Very
G10
cool.
probably.
Dude, look, I don't know about you guys, but
There you go.
jimping on a knife tears up the corner of my pocket way more than
Yeah.
any textured G10 or anything else does.
Yeah.
It's interesting how his scales must be bigger because how far down that
The backspacer.
backspacer sits.
Yeah. I think his scales are always a little bit thicker too. Like even my bug out, it's just a little bit thicker than, you know.
Yeah, those. I like those too.
Yep, blue twill. That stuff looks really sharp. I like that stuff.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's
Yeah,
getting pretty popular now.
Yeah, he's been, you know, I mean, even Dr. Franke loves his stuff. I know he was one of the early ones. Even before Dr. Franke, I had a G10 set that I bought for my PM2 years and years ago off his Amazon store. I was like, oh, those look pretty rad. And they ended up being perfect. So I bought a lot of stuff from him. And the other knife that I liked that he did was the whatchamacallit. It's right there, the red one up at the top corner.
Yojimbo.
Yeah, like I like how he redoes the Yojimbo a lot too.
Much more neutral.
Right? And you see how like right around where the grip area, it's all nice and contoured for your finger. I mean, dude, this is
Yeah, that is
looks
awesome.
really cool. The colors are ugly, but they were, but it's definitely cool. And he's got another Yojimbo pattern that he does without the milling that it's all kind of smooth and rounded. That looks really crazy too.
Makes me want to consider picking up some PM2 scales from him.
I would.
Well,
Man.
yeah, the flip through them. They're the ones without the hump. I think they might be the Grand Line or.
Yep, right there.
The Grand Line's what I have on mine.
That would be what I would get then.
Yes.
Yep, those are the ones I have.
But I do need a new lanyard tube, or at least a spacer back there, because mine's chewed.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
I put all titanium screws, lanyard tube, and stop pin in mine too, to make it all bronze, you know? Because mine had that Grand Line with the gold carbon fiber on it and stuff.
See, now, if I had scales like this for my K390 PM2, I'm not sure it would ever leave my pocket.
Right?
Well, yeah, because he adds material so that it has a nice contour to it. No hard edges on it, really, or anything like that.
That would make that knife so nice.
They're a huge improvement over how it comes.
Bam!
Look at you with your PM2 scales. Did you get a hold of him for those custom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I everything I've bought, I directly ordered straight through him. I email him. Yeah, these babies. The first time I bought these exact scales, but in OD Green G10 and off his Amazon store many years ago. And that's how I learned about them. I'm like, man, these things are pretty good. And then I started seeing him on Dr. Franke's channel. I'm like, oh, he's getting noticed. Yeah, now I see him everywhere. Here's that one that he did for me for my military.
Oh, I forgot he did Millie stuff too.
Yeah. And he actually includes this backspacer with the scales because it's got a different kind of lanyard hole kind of configuration. So yeah, you Spyderco peeps, check out Aramis. It's pretty good.
I missed it a couple minutes ago, but Gaston said that Sal said on the forum that they're going to make a shaman with thinner blade stock.
Oh yeah? And I would wait for that.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't need thinner blade stock. They just need to not let ZT grind them.
Yeah, the blade stock isn't the problem. But they won't take it thinner.
Thwack! Dude, this thing fires out so hard, man.
That was talk, though, that they were going to start making like a performance line. They'd charge a little bit more for it to grind them thinner. And
Yeah,
obviously they'd come with like warnings for most for normal people, you know, that they're thin, they're meant to be cutting tools, and that the warranty of same thing doesn't apply, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, I've heard this talk before, but I don't it's been a while since that actually came out. I don't think they're
Yeah, I mean, no one's Spyderco. It could be fucking 5 years before we see anything like that.
right. Hey, what's up, Jake?
What's up, everybody? Sorry
Welcome.
I'm late.
No worries.
Did I miss anything important?
No, we were talking about modding knives and Aramis scales.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never owned any, but I've played with some. I had a loaner and a set of Aramis scales. They're super nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about, I got a set on the bug out. I was super impressed.
Those silver ones
Yeah,
look so good.
it does. And it's, the only thing, like I was showing Tom, is since it shortens the knife, it tends to bite you a little bit. You know, when you do
Little,
that.
you have like 15 marks on your hand.
I know. That's how
Where did the little part come from?
Where did the little mark? Well, sometimes you
No,
get
the little bit come from.
the little bit.
Yeah, you're like it bites you a little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes,
I think it bites you a lot of bit.
Well, you know, I mean, that depends what a lot is. I mean, these are just, you know, little love marks. They don't, you know.
Yeah.
There's
It's
1,
yours
2,
now.
3. I think there's four love marks, and I've been carrying this exclusively for a week now.
Almost one a day.
Almost one a day. So there you have it.
See, if you had my small hands, you wouldn't have that problem, though.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely.
Did I tell you guys that Tom sold me a knife because it was too big for him?
Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
Way too big for him. He couldn't handle it.
Yep.
So he had to sell it to me.
Oh yeah, the little native. Actually, I always was interested in those little knives. They look
In
really
his hands, it looks like a shaman in mine.
Exactly.
I think it kind of like looks to me like a more fun chaparral.
Honestly, it's a really nice little knife.
I love the Little Native. I had played with one and borrowed my brother's for a while. A ways back, he had an all-black S30V1. And I'd been meaning to get one for a long time. I had missed out on the St. Nick's 4V1s. So I was just kind of waiting for the right opportunity. And then Tom posted his for sale, less than retail, on Sprint Run like a chump. So I had to take it.
Yeah, I don't screw anybody. I try not to post things for $300, you know.
Too big for your hands, huh, Tom?
Yeah. I can only get like, I have like another inch of space when I had it in full grip behind, you know. I just couldn't handle it.
See, it's not that Tom has a small body; he just has tiny hands.
Yeah.
The rest of his body's normal size.
I'm
Like a T-Rex. He's got a huge head and little arm.
I'm cursed with little hands. Oh.
Nice.
But I do have one of those chaparrals right now, one of the lightweights,
Yeah, they're cool knives.
which made me get rid of the Little Native.
Yeah, I used to have a chaparral and the Rafir Noble, and
Me too.
that was a cool little knife.
This is the third chaparral I've had.
Yeah, because at least the chaparral's ground right.
Oh,
Yeah, that thing's ground really thin. I can't remember what the blade stock was, but I remember it was
It's-
super thin.
0.09, I think.
Yeah,
It's
that's
single digits, and then it's ground thin at the edge too.
right. Yeah, I remember that thing was like a little laser beam.
Yeah, BJ sold me one of those for a smoking deal, so I was like, "Yep, I got to get that," and I carried that for a day or two, and I liked it a lot more than Little Native, so Little Native had to go.
See, I was thinking that I would like the little native better than I would like the chaparral.
I don't think you will.
It depends. If you like to fidget with your stuff, Little Native. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of on the chaparral is the thinner lock bar.
Oh yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
like the thin lock bar.
it's a little sharp.
It needs a little bit. It needs that boy dent in there, like the Delica and the Endura have.
Mhm. Yeah,
Well, that's what they make a Dremel for.
That is true. It's easily fixable.
That's literally why they invented the Dremel.
Yeah, just for the chaparral.
That's right.
Why did they call it the Dremel though? Why didn't they call it the chaparral tool or something?
The Chaparral.
We don't have to call it a Dremel. That doesn't have to be in there.
The Dremel.
There it is.
nice.
Yeah, Gaston nailed it. He said the Shap is great. Is a great small knife. Super slicer disappears in the pocket. Little Native seems nice if you like a thicker blade. That's exactly it.
Oh, and the handle's quite a bit thicker and blockier too.
It is. It was still pretty comfortable though.
Yeah, I don't know. I traded for mine. I would like to see how a backlock version is.
I think I'd like the backlock more.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'll take a compression lock over a back lock on any knife, any day, anytime.
That one's
No.
almost hard to use. Because you have like nothing to grab onto. Like, I could get it to work, but I feel like I'd go to close it at some point and end up throwing it. You know?
Maybe you should just learn to use your hands a little better.
Yeah, I should.
Not the size of the tool.
It's not the size, it's the motion of the ocean.
That's what people with small dicks say. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, guys.
Oops, that was supposed to stay in your
thinking
head.
out loud again.
No, we all laughed independently of your statement.
Gaston said you can move the chaparral leaf spring back a little bit and the lock gets a lot easier. Interesting. I hate taking backlocks apart though. Pain in the ass, unless it's a native. You ever taken any of them backlocks apart, like Delica? The Delica's the worst.
I have.
The only backlock knife that I have left is Assault. That's it.
Each one.
And it needs a sharpening because I cut a fish's lip with it and that dulled the
I
blade.
was gonna say because it's H1. Did you know that steel literally isn't hardened?
I mean, it's basically plastic. But
Yeah, I
kinda
just
cool.
I just learned that the other day that they don't harden that. It comes at like 45 to 50, and they just keep it that way. Like you can't harden it.
Good for them. That's a win for Spyderco, you know?
It's probably cheaper.
For sure.
Actually, I don't think you can heat treat it. I think that was the issue with it. Like you're not like it's not possible. That's the way I understood it, and that's why people say it work hardens, which is I think they're full of shit.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
No. Well, it work hardens in grinding. Like actual like power grinding. That's true. But if you're like hand sharpening and stuff, no.
Hmm.
It's interesting. Weird stuff. Sharpens up nice though.
Yeah, look, man, as far as taking a backlock Spyderco apart, if you have a hard time putting it back together, you're doing it wrong. It's just that simple.
You call me out
They're
like this?
They're super easy to take apart and put back together. I don't know what you're doing wrong.
You're a fucking dumbass.
Call me out on national television.
That he's saying you're a dumbass. You don't know what you're doing. Don't even talk about the subject right now because you ain't cool.
The hard part is getting the blade back into it. I don't know. I guess I must be doing it wrong then because I would always put the spring in.
Nope. Put your pivot in. Put your blade in. Then put your spring in.
Yep. So I've done it a couple ways. I did it that way, and that spring always wants to pop back out when I'm trying to put the handle back on.
I haven't had that problem.
It depends.
It's because his hands are too small, guys. Come
That's
on.
it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You need more oomph in that spring, you know?
It's hard to get it to stay down while you're trying to put the other scale back on. It always
That's what you said.
maybe my spring was like torqued one way.
That's what she said.
All right. I'll stick to the native. It's captive. It doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, I almost forgot, guys. Holy crap, I almost forgot about...
Oh my god, I wish you would have forgot. Oh my god. You forget that I have a button to kick you out.
Can you at least mute him?
I've tried doing that before. You can't just mute people. It's really annoying.
Looks like you're out, Alex.
You have to kick them.
You just hit with a wow effect.
Wow. I can't... God, I wish you would have forgot. How many sound effects are actually on there?
Oh, dude, we can
Don't
go
ask
on
that.
days.
I wanted to count. I didn't want to run. I just wanted to figure out how much time I have to allot for him to run through them all while we're sitting here.
All I have to say is pow.
Paul says lockback disassembly is what you were talking about. Trying to get us off of your noises.
Okay. Continue.
I don't think there was anything left to be said on that. I think Paul just wanted you to stop.
All right.
I agree with Paul. Everyone be like Paul.
He goes, I mean, this is a once a month podcast.
Let's rewind that and
my
play another. All right.
It's sad. I know the video that's from. Oh, man.
So, anything you guys are excited about in the knife world, or anything exciting coming out that you guys are looking forward to?
No.
I'm excited to get my Vero Axon.
Your what?
The Vero Axon, that front flipper Vero.
Oh yeah.
I think
That's kind of
December.
interesting.
So it's coming up relatively soon.
Is it the first run that you jumped on, or is it a second run or something like that?
Yeah, it'll be the first run. So the only one that exists right now is this Proto.
Got it. Very, very cool. Yeah, I sold that Synapse I had for disgusting amount of money. I mean, it's a really cool knife, guys. Don't get me wrong. You know, it's well made and everything. But I mean, is it really worth the $700 people are paying for him?
Are you shitting me?
So I got offered $700 for mine. I gave it to him for $550 because it had a scratch on the clip.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I borrowed an Impulse and a Synapse at the same time, and I liked the Impulse better personally, but I wouldn't pay secondary prices for either. There's a lot of hype behind them right now. I'm in that Facebook group, and I think they're
too.
who deserve hype, but I don't think it's just impatience that's driving it, because Joseph is going to keep making knives. People need to just wait for another run instead of.
That's pretty much it.
That's unreal.
But the thing is Joseph doesn't really say when the next run's coming out, so nobody knows if something's coming out. I think it's how they're taking it, and everybody's kind of screaming like, "Oh my God, am I gonna get a?" You know, and they're Best Techs, right?
Yep,
Mhm.
Best Tech making them.
So, yeah.
I'm excited for the Axon, and he's got an Integral coming soon with a clip point that I'm real excited about.
Well, the Integral, I'm kind of considering. The Synapse was a very nice knife. I almost would like to think I'd buy another one, but not for no markup or anything like that. But I think that Integral one will probably end up kind of feeding my Vero bug, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
All that stuff's
'Cause
pretty
I like
limited,
the
isn't it?
Impulse. What's that?
All that stuff's pretty limited, isn't it?
Yeah, like he does like runs of 200 of them.
I think the Axon he did 300 or 400 because it was his biggest run of knives that he's done, and they still sold out real quick.
Yeah, like he sells out. Like even his pry bars sell out within minutes.
Yep.
So it's one of those things on the market now that's gotten hot. I think it's a really cool knife. I did a review on it recently, and I liked it. I thought there was a bit of a gap thing going on, but that's usually most Best Techs, in my personal opinion, right around the pivot area. So, but well-made knife. It's good looking. I like the way he designs his flippers. You know, and of course, you know, as far as the performance of that M390, I have no idea. I don't know anybody who's cut tests with it. I'm assuming it's like everything else. But the hand rub satin finish on it was beautiful. I will say that. That was actually really, really, really impressive. That was a nice hand rub finish on those.
The belt satin they're doing for him too is one of the better belt satins I've ever seen. I'm impressed for Best Tech.
Yep. So Vero Industries is kind of an interesting thing. I know TRM's doing a bunch of things right now, which are kind of interesting. They're going to have like that Axis Lock looking knife coming up soon. So I saw some of the pictures of that on the TRM group, which is kind of cool. Anything else you guys know that's coming out soon that we want to talk about? Not really, huh?
I got two.
Let's go.
They're both in the same vein. I want to see your guys' thoughts on them. The last limited edition 940 for the year. I don't know if you guys saw pictures of it.
I have not. So I know the first one was the 2001, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, what do they have?
The 2002 BK. Remember the black with the
Blue G10?
I'm sorry, blue G10 black blade 20 CV.
Okay. Then what was after that?
Then here, let me find a picture.
The next one was like a blacked out titanium one, right?
Yes, sir.
A black. That's right. I remember. And I think it had a couple blue accents or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good looking knife.
Oh,
I remember. And what's the? Oh, there you go. Yeah, with the little blue accent.
What
Yeah,
I
that
was
was really
what I
cool.
was told was that there was gonna be one every quarter. It looks like they're only gonna make 3. This is the final one.
Oh, so that is the final one.
Yeah, because this is Q4. Yeah, so they're only making 3.
I thought they were making 4 of those.
That's what I thought too.
The fourth one is the mini bug out. You're welcome.
Exactly.
Or 940.
That's what I was gonna say. Beat me to it. But the thing to consider here, this is no different than the original, the 2001, just all blacked out and blue hardware instead. It's the
Yeah,
same.
it's identical, right?
Yep.
And did you see the price?
I think I remember it was more.
It was like 4. MSR was like 4. It's high 4s, I thought.
Actual price people were paying was like $420 or something like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
which is crazy.
I like mine better.
And some sites had them listed at MSRP and still sold them.
Wow.
It does look nice, but at the same time, I
It
mean,
looks very, very nice.
you're
That
paying.
thing costs more than an Anthem. That's gross.
They were saying back in like 2013, 2014, the last titanium run of 940s. Remember how how the normal like aluminum one has like the milling throughout here and more milling up top?
Right.
The OG run had that too, and it was like $300.
Mm,
So it makes this seem extremely overpriced for flat slabs of titanium that are just DLC'd.
right. I mean, maybe it's the final finale. Ooh-ha, they think they're gonna cash in a couple extra bucks on it. I don't know. I mean, I ended up not wanting a 940 for the longest time. I had that 20 CV one that was done. That was the G10 with the red C-Tech inlay.
Yep.
And that was a nice knife, but it was kind of boring. But then when I got the 2001, I was really impressed. I really like it. It just feels right in my hand with that nice flat slab of titanium,
It's I think it's the best 940.
I think so too. I really do.
And then we got the mini one, which I don't know why they're releasing a blacked out version of it as the first one, but good for them, I guess, with the blue liners.
So the mini comes with blue liners like that?
Yep.
I would have been more intrigued by a larger 940 than by a smaller one.
I think so too.
Like a 4-incher?
Or even like, yeah, I don't know, just make the blade a little taller and fatten it up and keep the length.
Yeah, I'm with Jake. Make the blade taller, make the handle a little taller,
See-
so it doesn't feel like you're holding a tiny twig in your hand.
So a
But
Contago.
that already exists. Yeah, I was going to say it's either a Contago or a Rift.
No,
Both of those knives are garbage, though.
The Contago's terrible.
Actually, the Rift is kind of cool, I think.
Rift is
I
cool. I
have
don't like the
I,
pinky shelf.
I
on the
do
back.
like the Rift, but it's not. It's different than the 940.
It is different.
I like the idea of a smaller 940, but the full size one's already like perfect size for me. The reason that people are asking for this was legality, where you had to have a sub 3-inch blade, which that makes sense, I guess.
My favorite 940 is the Super Free.
Yeah, but how many places have a sub 3-inch blade rule?
I think we live in one, Alex.
What?
I mean, I'm pretty sure in LA you're supposed to be sub 3 inches, but
Nope.
YOLO.
YOLO.
I don't know. I've been popped with a 4-inch knife in my hand. I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
But I wasn't popped for, like causing trouble or being a renegade or anything.
That's
you know?
what I always say to people who ask that, because we have those issues here in Ohio. Like, we have the same issues. Like, we're not allowed to have autos.
Just don't be an idiot.
It's one of those things. I told him that a cop isn't going to ask to check what's in your pocket. It's one of those things that if you're already doing illegal things, it's a charge that's going to get tacked on.
If
Yeah,
don't
you know you're
take
going to break the law.
it
Don't
by
carry
saying,
an
I
automatic.
have an illegal knife in my pocket.
Yeah. If you're going to break the law, have a case.
Well, I know I got pulled over and pulled out of the car once because they wanted to search it. I said, go right ahead. And then they saw the pocket clip and they're like, "What's that in your pocket?" Like, it's a pocket knife. So I pulled it out. It was a 4-inch bladed knife, and they didn't care. They
Little
looked
did
at
they
it.
know you were smuggling all of the drugs in your prison wallet.
Yes, I was smuggling all that powdered sugar.
Yeah.
That's where the 5-inch blade was.
Yeah.
In a sheath. Calm down.
Yes, in a sheath. It was a Mora. Yeah, those are the only two that I could think of that. As soon as I saw them come out, I'm like, I didn't like either one.
Anything interesting coming from Spyderco?
No.
I know they did their new release, right? Their last release or something.
We talked about that last time, I think. I'm pretty sure we flipped through it real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Pochi. That's the only new Spyderco I plan on buying.
Are you actually considering it?
I'm not considering it. I'm going to buy one.
Are you really?
Are you talking about that stupid little
Yeah.
mini dog?
One with the tail on it. Yeah.
Don't fund
Yeah.
any more of their bad ideas. Stop it.
Jake,
I'm going to review it, and then I'm going to yeet it off a cliff.
Okay. That one picture that you had of you like overlooking like that canyon, I want you to just yeet it off of that.
Did you see the video where I twirled it over there, too?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
People were freaking out.
Dude,
It's good.
I wouldn't even put myself there, let alone dangle a knife over top of it and flip it all around.
Gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
God.
I keep getting some of my subscribers requesting to do another video with Jake.
Let's do it.
I
I'll
know.
take you up to that spot.
I know. I'm down.
Oh, another hookup in the woods.
That's right.
Brokeback Mountain style.
I'm not wearing any underwear. I'm gonna wear some shorts and a white beater.
Oh, great.
Cool.
And every knife that he brings, he's going to carry in his prison wallet.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, oh look, this one's so pink. It's just, you know.
Oh, man.
There's nothing wrong with pink knives, by the way. I don't own one, but I think it would be cool.
Jake, what influenced you to take pictures of your knife on your roof?
On my roof?
Yeah, I've seen pictures and like videos of you like on the roof of your house or apartment or.
Now it's at my sister-in-law's place. So she lives over downtown LA. So the view up there is really cool.
Right.
And it's like a nice flat roof for part of it. So I'll go up there sometimes just like hang out. But also, my daughter's always like playing with her cousins there, and it's super loud. So if I want to like film anything while I'm over there, that's the like quietest place that I can go, and it's just cool. It makes for better pictures and looks cooler.
Yeah, it's a sweet backdrop.
Yeah,
but
why not, right?
It makes me wonder. I was like, is he on a fucking roof?
Yep.
I tend to take all my pictures on the ground.
Wearing safety equipment, guys.
Yeah.
If I take the equipment, you mean flip flop? Then yes.
Yes. OSHA is calling.
He's got a parachute.
Yeah.
I put myself on a forklift, and then I use a stick to actuate the lift.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
OSHA certified.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
use the stick to actuate the lift.
Don't you know that anything over like a 6-foot roof, you have to have a harness on for? And a guardrail.
Now I know.
It's either 6 or 8 foot. I don't remember.
I'm eating all the Halloween candy right now.
I wish I had some. I
You
should
guys ever had the gummy Haribo gummy Coke bottles?
No.
Good stuff.
I should have went trick or treating.
Did you? What'd you do
Come
for
on,
your
mate.
daughter? What'd you do for your daughter, Jake?
We just went to my sister-in-law's place. All of us adults went like behind bedroom doors, and the kids came and knocked on those. and
Dude.
they didn't-
I totally could have went
Yeah.
trick or treating. I'm like the size of a trick or treater, and if I cover everything up except for my hands, they would not think these hands belong to a 24-year-old.
Yeah, they think you're wearing stilts.
It's part of the costume.
Correct.
He's
Yeah,
two
that-
kids in a trench coat.
That's kind of what I did too. We kind of mixed Easter with Halloween and got a bunch of little eggs, put candies, hid them all around for my daughter to go look for. And
There
she
you
was
go.
knocking on doors looking for stuff and harassing grandma looking, under her bed for the eggs. And yeah, it was
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. Kind of sad, you know. Kind of when they're 3, it's like a good time to start like bringing them out, and doing that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's that kind of a year, you know. But maybe next year, who knows? So I hope you guys all had a safe Halloween. Anybody doing pumpkin carving with some knives?
I didn't actually. First time in a long time.
I meant to. I wanted to enter the River's Edge Cutlery contest, but I kept neglecting to get a pumpkin, and then all of a sudden it was actually Halloween. So I just ate a whole bunch of barbecue and called it good.
Nice.
That sounds way better anyhow.
I used the limited edition Blade HQ exclusive Metamorph, the one with the M390, that long skinny blade.
The real steel?
Yeah, it worked perfect.
I could see that being a good knife for it because you can make those like turning cuts, cut on angles and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It did very well, and yeah, that's what we carved it with that, and then my wife's like trying to handle the bug out, and like this bug out that I bought came really, 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 really sharp, like really sharp compared to most Benchmades I've owned. So every time anybody wants to grab it, I was always a little nervous. Somebody had cut themselves doing the pumpkin, you know?
I used a PM2 a few years back, and it did pretty good.
Yeah.
Blade's a little too tall to make those turning cuts in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gaston
I probably
asks,
would have ended up just using my waypoint if I did it.
that'd be a good
like-
one.
Yeah, the waypoint's a good one.
Plus, I could just like literally spray it down in the sink after I'm done.
Right.
Gaston
What's up,
asks,
little friend?
Alex and Jake, what were your favorite things at CCKS?
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about CCKS. That's a good question. Well,
I think-
CCKS was interesting, right, Jake?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There were a number of things that were a lot of fun to look at, but for a poor boy like me, weren't really what I was there for. The knives that I was most tempted to like splurge and get that didn't were probably some of Brad Zinker's customs that he had there.
Oh, yeah, those
I
were.
had handled some of his production stuff before, like the Mass Drop Dogtooth and some of the Boker stuff. But he had some customs there that were phenomenal and were like $600 and under for some really cool builds with Micarta and front flippers, and all of his stuff was like way lighter than I was expecting it to be. Everything
Oh, yeah.
remarkably lightweight.
I was going to say that. It's super minimalist in such a cool way. The action and the build, the quality, everything. It kind of felt like it has that hollow feel, you know, because it's all cut out and everything. So
Yeah.
it feels different and sounds different than other knives. But that was the first time I handled his knives, his customs in person. And he was really nice to talk to, too.
Right.
Really cool guy.
Yeah, it's like he bends the laws of physics when you pick up his knife and you
Yeah.
see what it's made out of, and you expect it to be a certain weight, and every single one is lighter than what my brain tells me it should be. It's really
Right.
cool. I like his stuff. I want to get one of his customs relatively soon.
Yeah, it definitely made me take a closer look. I've almost bought a couple of his customs from Knife Center and other places. I've seen some cool ones in the past, but handling him in person was a whole different thing. I think the highlight for me was Shane Seibert.
Mm.
Shane Seibert's stuff. He only had 4 knives on the table, but they were absolutely beautiful.
I miss his
Very well made.
collabs with Benchmade.
Yeah, his collaborations are very cool with Benchmade. As a matter of fact, the one gold class I want is that one that he did of
The Vicar.
yes,
I love that knife.
I love that knife too, man. And I see them like for sale. They're like $1,700. I'm like, man, damn it. Every time I want one, I'm like, I just can't fathom doing that. I
Alex,
got my
did you
gold
handle
trick
any of
back for
the, did you handle any of the knives at the American table?
Yeah, he's actually building me a knife.
Oh, his work was legit. I had never seen his stuff in person. I'd seen photos and I thought his knives looked cool, but I was really impressed with his table as well.
Yeah. Kurt's really cool. He's actually a really fairly young knife maker. Kind of like Adam Purvis from Florida, firefighter. and he quit firefighting to become a full-time knife maker. Those pieces he had on there actually were leftover Westinghouse from my piece.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So he's got my
I
piece.
handled some of your micarta.
Yeah. Well, he had the Westinghouse from my old piece mixed in with some really cool rag Westinghouse micarta. Had like some weird greens and reds in it, which was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely a very promising custom knife maker for sure. And he's getting noticed by some of the bigger collectors. I've seen a few people buy some of his pieces, so he's getting out there. The Wingman EDC booth was kind of cool. That new Tom Mayo front flipper, the TNT, that was a cool knife. I think I might pick up one of those. They have the M390 carbon fiber ones, and then they have the LMAX with the crazy G10. I think I'd buy the LMAX one.
I was planning to get one of those G10 LMAX ones, and I liked it. The action was exactly what I wanted it to be, but the way it fit my hand just wasn't quite right. I ended up passing on it, but
yeah,
I may revisit it because I held so many knives that day that I feel like I had a different perspective than I normally would if I just got a new knife to figure out.
Right.
But they were well made. That's the cheapest knife that Wingman has ever put out at sub $200.
Oh yeah, that was really, really cool. I ended up buying one of Nick's V2 prototypes for
the Ingress, right?
The Ingress, yeah. So I mean, he offered it to me at a good price and everything, but I'm like, how much you pay for it, man? You know, just kind of give him his money back for that because that was a cool project, and
awesome.
And I got the ones without the vents. That's the difference between the V3 and V2, right? The holes in the back of the blade.
Right.
And I'm like, that's the one I want. I don't want those holes, man. Which was a Nick Shabazz recommendation. So yeah, personally, I don't think it was a good idea, Nick, but Shabazz, Nick Shabazz. But it did lighten up the blade. I get it. I get what it was supposed to do. I still like the way mine is better. The Riot table was really impressive. What do you think, Nick? There's some cool.
I tried to get him to sell me one of the Apaches because they had those fat carbon ones there, but they weren't for sale. And so I ended up, I just bought my own Apache from somebody who had one listed for sale because this was the knife of theirs that I figured out I liked the most. And
yeah, that was a cool one.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me get one, so I had to go to the secondary, but I lucked out and found one that I liked. So.
Yeah, did you see that Damasteel they showed off? That new Damasteel, it's like a Damacore looking kind of Damasteel.
It was a cool pattern. It looked really nice.
So that was really neat. That was the first time I saw that. We went and looked at all the bar stock with the Vegas Forge. I got to hang out with Dirk too, right?
It was great seeing Dirk. I enjoyed that.
Yep. What else was cool there? Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like huge, you know, it was kind of like, it was definitely a lot less crowded than last year, which is what I really liked about it. And it was outside.
It was dope. It gave us way more, like the amount of time that I was able to talk to individual makers. I talked to Dave from Protec for like literally at least a half hour, like solid conversation. Once it died down in the afternoon, it was great because I don't know, when the show's indoors and it's not as much foot traffic as it normally does, there's just way less like room for those people to give you attention. You can talk to them for a minute or two and everyone's really cool about it. But with it being a little bit slower and open air, it was perfect for actually having conversations with people.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, CCKS was fun, definitely. I think they did a really good job with the times given, you know?
Absolutely.
And the best part was just to kind of get to hang out with my friends. That's really the only reason why I went. Although if Nick would have flaked out and not showed up with the Ingress, I think I would have probably bought one of those TNT front flippers. That was a cool knife. I really like that thing.
I can't believe California let you guys have that.
What, right. Front flippers?
No.
The show.
California's not. I mean, I think as far as from what I see, I don't think the stance on Californians is to close everything down, shut everything down. I think everybody's tired of it, man.
Well, Orange County too, and Orange County is much more lenient than LA County.
I got you.
Yeah, Orange County, they don't even like require you to wear masks at a lot of places.
Kids are back in school down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaston said, Alex, did you and Dirk find a good place or find a good dinner place that night? James here, by the way.
Yes, we did. The Outback Steakhouse, baby. He brought his I don't know, I think that's his girlfriend, not wife. I
It's his
can't remember.
girlfriend. Yeah.
And then
Great. She's a really nice girl.
yeah, she was really sweet. Dirk was absolutely an amazing guy in person, really cool character. Exactly what you would expect, exactly what you see on camera, just a lot taller than you would expect maybe. Dude,
He's
Dirk
tall,
was
too.
huge, right? Like he
Yeah.
was like 6'4" or more bigger.
And they like giant knives.
That also
Yeah.
explains why he likes the giant knives.
It does. It totally does. So, but that was great. And there was another guy that came out to dinner with us too.
Is that the guy that was hanging out with Dirk?
Of course. Yeah, man. Dude, that guy's got incredible knives too.
I forget what his name was, but I really liked that guy.
Yeah, he was super nice. He came out to dinner with us. And he actually just lent in Dirk a bunch of South African knives because I lent him a few that he ended up enjoying. So he's like, dude, if you like South African knives, send him like some meteorite, bolstered, freaking mammoth, scaled, custom Damascus like knives. That was a Mueller actually that had that shit on it. There was like a bunch of really cool, crazy full dress that.
Yeah, that dude was telling me about some of the knives in his collection. He's got some impressive stuff. He was carrying a Sharp by Design Void XL.
Yep.
Really nice knife. Cool dude.
Yep. Are you talking about the guy with the gray hair? Or are you talking about the guy with the younger guy? Because there was Jim Moore. The older guy, Jim Moore. Jim Moore is also like very. The older guy is Jim Moore.
Yeah.
Jim's got some crazy pieces. Very, very cool dude. Very good.
Why does that name sound
Dude.
familiar? Is he in the Discord?
He's everywhere. He's always on the Knife Junkie.
Is it
live
Jim
stream.
MD?
Huh?
Jim MD?
I don't know if it's Jim MD.
That makes sense. Maybe more.
Yeah, that name sounds really familiar. I think he is on the Discord. This is a
But
this is a plug for the Sharp Talk Discord, by the way. Link in Instagram bio.
Yeah, he lives like in Manhattan Beach, so he's not far. He's over in the South Bay area, so he's
You know,
local.
Until you mention that Discord every time, Tom, I totally forget it even exists.
Gaston said he was the one with the Void XL. James was his name.
What?
It said Gaston said he was the one with the Void XL. His name is James.
James.
Yes.
James Moore.
Is it? He
I
says
don't know.
I'm Jim MD on Discord. Yeah, that it's all coming
there you
together. Now it makes sense.
It's all coming together. There you go. So yes, a lot of familiar faces. I got to meet some of you people in person. I got to see Jake again. Oh, look how cute she is.
Say hello. Say hello.
Mm,
Give him away.
adorable. Yeah, so we got to meet a lot of friends, hang out, have dinner at the Outback Steakhouse, and it was a good time. So I'll definitely probably do that again next year, as I did the last year, this year, and probably next year. Hopefully it's uncovided. I don't know.
So it was all outdoors, huh?
Yeah,
That makes
I
more
hope they're
sense.
doing it
it
outdoors.
was
I like
way
it.
better that way. They should have had it outdoors last year too, because you have more room to kind of move around. Indoors, everybody's kind of crowded around everywhere, and like the Strider booth and stuff like that.
Plus,
like-
it's so loud when you're inside because all the noise gets trapped. When you're outdoors, it's just like it's
Yeah.
easier to have conversations. There's more space. I dug
Right.
it.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think for the most part, out of all the knife makers I hung out with, most is probably Eugene from Olamic, probably.
Always good to see Eugene.
Yeah, he was showing me his new smoking apparatus that he got from Russia or the Ukraine or something. it's supposed to be like a healthier way of smoking. We spent more time talking about that stupid thing than we did about knives. But it was really good to see him. He's a funny guy, really cool dude. So yeah, and I think me and Dirk spent a good like 20 minutes or so with Shane Seibert, looking at his stuff and talking about his builds. Really good deals, man. Dude, he had some fully dressed mini pocket rockets, and his mini pocket rocket's bigger now. And they were like $18.50, I think, for the cheapest one. Then they get up to like $2,400 for the full custom with the extra stuff on it. So
I always like the mini pocket rocket, not the micro that Benchmade has right now, but the mini that they used to.
Right, like the first gen one,
Yeah,
right?
I think they just called it the NPR back then.
Right, that's exactly what they called it. Yeah, I like that knife. I just wish they flipped the pocket clip around a little bit on it.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was a really cool knife. And these were actually a little bit bigger than those. Like the blade was a little bit longer than even those. So it was kind of cool.
Jim said Eugene should make that prototype he had into a regular model.
Yes, I agree. I know. But you could tell he didn't like it at all. Like, and when Eugene doesn't like a model, it's not going through. He kind of like handles like a lot of those kind of decisions there, him and Ilya. And I remember the Gambit was another knife that they used to make that I was a huge fan of. I love the Gambit, but Eugene hated it. They didn't make very many of them. I think that was a collaboration with Serge Pachenko. I can't remember.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was an old knife. That was an old school Olamic, years and years. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the knife show in a nutshell.
I wish I had knife shows like that closer to me.
Yeah.
I really have nothing here.
Guess the New York Knife Show is the closest thing for you, right?
A big one, yeah.
Yeah.
They have some down by Columbus every year. And from what I hear, it's a big one, but I don't know. They don't have like the big name guys that come there.
Yeah.
Not like New York.
Sometimes those are more fun though. They're a little more intimate and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I went to one. There was another knife show that's kind of the Pomona area that I went to. I think last year as well, where it was like a bunch of slip joints and old men making fixed blades. Like more classic knives, right?
Yeah.
And I had a blast just kind of handling and looking at that stuff because I really don't know much about it, So it was kind of fun and gave me a whole outlook. I handled some like of those old timer slip joints that are like $1,100-$1,200, like the Bill Ruppel style, knives.
That's cool.
And you can feel why they're expensive. I never thought I would admit that, but those really like famous old timers, like you feel like the quality and the tightness and the smoothness when you open it. It's hard to explain. But yeah, cool experience. I recommend everybody to do that. Well, is that a show, guys?
It might be. It's been an hour
You
15.
guys all look like you're out of steam. Jake's muted himself. Gerald was gone for the past 5 minutes. You had your head down like you were sleeping.
I was just chewing a lot, so that's why I was muted. But I got more in me. Did you guys want to talk about anything?
Yeah, do we have any more topics? Because I kind of ran out of topics.
I have an interesting question.
Okay.
It might be more pertinent next month, but I haven't made a decision yet what my top new knife of 2020 will be, although I have a few contenders in the running. Have you guys started thinking about that, or is that something you even want to address? Do you have a favorite knife of the year?
I started thinking about it about 12 seconds ago when you brought it up.
Love it.
I don't buy enough like new models. Like I don't buy the models when they come out normally. I don't.
Yeah, I haven't been shopping this year much. I mean, for me, it's going to be the Drift. It's going to be the knife of the year for me as far as so far from everything that I've bought. That's been my biggest surprise. But that, again, I'm not buying tons of knives or getting people setting stuff in. Not that kind of a reviewer in some respects, I guess.
Jim
So
said
I'm
the
not
best
good,
of the year for
not
him was.
qualified,
Jim said the best of the year for him was that Void XL.
Yeah, that's a nice piece, man.
Cool knife.
Very cool knife. I mean, anything by Brian's super cool. That early in the year, I did get that really nice front flipper from Trevor Berger. It was like a Warncliffe with fat carbon on it. That was a pretty nice piece too.
Is that the one with the blue fat carbon?
Yeah.
Yeah, you showed that to me on our last backwoods backdoor meetup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a pretty nice acquisition this year too.
You're just
Fair
straight
enough.
middle of the woods rendezvous.
Yes.
Deep wood.
Need a fucking Garmin GPS to get back out.
I am the human GPS.
Well,
Alex would never survive.
no.
So we see who wears the pants in the relationship then.
There were no pants.
I just tell him which color and what pair to wear.
Oh man.
God.
Oh, I've made my first penny on YouTube, guys.
First penny?
First penny.
I
That's
collected my
something.
first paycheck like a month ago.
Yeah.
Solid.
It wasn't enough for much.
Was
Good.
it?
It was basically
But-
the minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. It's money.
Money's money.
I've definitely put way more into it than what I've gotten back out of it. I'll tell you that.
Right. Well, yeah, but we're doing it for the fun of it.
Yeah.
We're not doing it for money.
Exactly.
Man. I think doing it for money, you had to have been jumping on it many, many, many years ago.
And
Like the Rainbow Star days and
I don't think in this market, like just pocket knives and stuff, there's not the amount of viewers to make a significant amount of money.
not anymore, no.
No, I don't think there
I
was.
think there used to be.
No,
Dude,
you gotta have a lot.
look at Cutlery Lover. Did you see how many subscribers he has? He's got over 500,000 subscribers.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's where you
You
start
could do
making
it.
some good money.
In our segment, you could do it.
It's tough though. It's tougher.
Well, no,
Real
but Cutlery Lover's been around. Jeff's been around since like I want to say the beginning, right? I mean,
Over 10 years.
over 10 years for sure. The beginning of YouTube knives and
Yeah.
stuff like that, back with like Tough Thumbs and all that stuff.
I think Jim Skelton could too if he kept with it.
If you have enough uploads
Well, dude,
and
Sure.
enough subscribers and enough, if your analytics are good, then you can do all right. Like right now with 3,200 subscribers, I'm making enough on YouTube monetization that I'd consider it a side hustle. Like
Yeah.
I'm not rolling in dough, not even close. And in fact, all the money I make on it just goes into knives that I will be on the channel. But based on just having 3,000 followers or subscribers and knowing how much I'm able to get out of it now, you multiply that by 10 and I could live off of that. It wouldn't be like I'm rich, but I could do that. So at 30,000 subscribers, considering everything moves with
It
that.
scales 1-to-1. Yeah.
So at 50K subscribers, which is like where Advanced Knife Bro is, and he's not like the biggest channel in our realm. If he was
I think
uploading,
he's at 65 now, bro.
yeah, but
Jesus.
the other thing is he only puts up a video every week or two.
Right.
So if you're doing daily uploads that are each getting good analytics and you have that many subscribers, then absolutely you can make a living at it. But you'd have to work at it. It's no one I think is on autopilot in our sphere and is making a living at it. Even Shabazz won't quit his day job because he's afraid it'll all go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gotten up there too. He's like 120 now, I think, or something like that.
Yep.
So
Dude, look, even at 120, to make substantial money, you'd have to be uploading at least once a day.
Yep.
Of course, for sure you would have to.
I mean,
But
look,
it's
like
a full-time
Jake
job.
said, the amount of videos you put up makes a huge difference in what you actually make.
Right.
You know, the difference between 2 videos a week and 4 videos a week for me is more than double a month.
Wow.
I still haven't missed a day since I started my channel, so
I-
I don't have any numbers for.
I can tell you
not
for a fact,
consistently uploading.
uploading once a month does not cut it.
Every 6 months, we'll get a minimum check.
Basically.
So Jake is every day. Gerald, how many times a week are you?
It depends.
On
Depends
average,
on what I get done.
3-4 times a
Because
week.
we went away for a week. I had 2 weeks there where I didn't put anything up.
Yeah. Yeah, but on average, you're about like 3-4 of the videos a week, right?
Yeah, usually.
Jake's every day, 3-4 videos. Tom, you're once a month.
That's kind of what I've reduced to, yeah.
And then me, I'm trying to do once a week. Although I've done like 3 in the last 2 weeks. So that's pretty good.
Gerald, I gotta say that video that you put out the other day on sharpening super seals was fucking
That was
awesome.
a good video. That was a
So
good video.
good.
I just like the fact that you said, you guys, it's not hard to sharpen super steel. You guys just don't know what you're doing.
You guys
You
just
guys
suck.
I didn't look, and it's so funny. I had a couple people get so upset.
I knew
Good.
you would.
You spent 17 minutes telling people how you're better than them, and I'm just like, dude, I didn't tell anybody I was better than them. Not only that, I offered I'll help anybody who contacts me that needs help.
It was so funny because I'm watching that video and I just read the title. I'm like, he's gonna get a lot of hate for this. I'm like, I know it's gonna be a good video, but he's gonna get a lot of hate for this because people are
Those
gonna
are
get
the
their
best
egos hurt.
videos, Tom.
What?
Those are always the best videos.
Oh, I love controversial stuff like that. That basically telling people like, you suck at what you're doing right now. You need to fix it.
Right.
So funny. And then
Dude, look,
you mentioned all the dislikes you were gonna get. You're like the dislike crew that hits me on every video, and I look and you had like 12 dislikes already. I was like, all right, awesome.
Yeah.
That
Love
is
it.
funny.
That was a great video. Needed to be said though. Hurt a lot of feelings, but needed to be said.
Dude, look, nobody who sharpens on a regular basis is talking about stuff being hard to sharpen
No.
or steels being chippy.
No.
Okay? That's none of the people that sharpen on a regular basis.
You're in Facebook groups, right, Gerald? Like the knife stuff
Yeah.
on there. Did you see the one with the guy with the S110V PM2 the other day who tried to open a nut with it?
No.
He like tried to pry a nut open. There's giant chunks. Well, I guess I shouldn't say giant chunks, but pretty decent sized chunks taken out of the edge. He's like, my knife is ruined. Like,
No,
someone's
now
like,
it's
dude,
great.
shut up. 2 minutes on the sharp maker, it'll be fine. So funny. They're like, what did we learn? For everyone in the comments was like, yeah, S110V is chippy. Yeah, S110V is chippy. And someone goes, did you even sharpen it yet? I was like, well, no.
That is why you don't nut on your knives.
Exactly. And knife on your nut. Both. It goes both ways. Oh shit. Is that the part we're gonna end it on?
Yeah, I think we're in it.
I think that's gonna be the title too.
Don't
Yeah,
nut.
I think that should be the title
Don't
as
knife
well.
on your nut.
So
Murky Ocean says just nut on your stones, then you're good.
On your squat.
Jesus Christ. God damn. Alright, so that's gonna call it, I guess. Let's see, what will be our next Sunday? That would be the 6th. So December 6th we'll be right back here.
December 6th is a month away. This
Holy fucking shit!
this year is almost gone. Thank freaking goodness.
Almost.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! I can't believe you've done this.
All right, boot Alex.
I'm gonna kick Alex and we're gonna end the episode.
All right, guys. Good to see y'all.
Absolutely. As always, thanks for watching on Twitch and thanks for listening on any of the platforms afterwards. And we will catch
December
you guys
6th.
in the next one on December 6th.
Woo!
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.